Good day, good afternoon, good night. How you doing? This is MCM and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Today we are going to have a serious conversation. Well, maybe not a serious conversation, but there's going to be a serious talk happening here. Now, of course, I'm only doing the talking, but just stay tuned. All right, here we go. How you doing, y'all? This is MCM, and you're listening to You're Probably Right podcast, where I make all kinds of assumptions, all kinds of judgments, all kinds of sayings I say. Does that make any sense? I say all kinds of stuff, and a lot of the time I'm wrong. So if you call me out on something in your mind as you're listening to me, well, you know what? You're probably right. And that's okay. And that's why this podcast is named as it is. Today, I'm going to go further in on that this or that list. I went from 1 to 30. There are 298. I'm assuming I'm going to do, I hate promising at the beginning of these podcasts because they kind of flow how they flow, but I'm planning on going from, 31 to 60 today. Remember, this podcast is for entertainment purposes only. I know that my mic sounds different, odd sometimes, and sometimes it sounds nice and crisp. Hopefully this is one of those days where it sounds crisp and there's not too much noise happening outside of my microphone. And that's about it. So we're going to get to it because usually it takes me 10 years to get to the topic, but not today. Not today. Once again, I'd like to welcome all of my first-time listeners and my regular listeners. I really appreciate all of you. Hopefully there's something inside of my podcast, maybe not this episode, but so many more before this. There's many things that I talk about, as you probably heard in the beginning of this podcast. And if you didn't, then maybe listen to the end of the podcast. I can't remember where I put it this time, but anyhow, well, I guess I didn't do it yet. It will be done. But I might talk about all kinds of stuff on this podcast. So today, again, I'm doing the this or that, and it takes place, or where I'm finding the questions, I should say, is on teambuilding.com/blog/this or that questions. And I mean, it's something you could do with your friends, your partner. You could do it with your family members, or you could do it by yourself and leave it as I am, leaving it for posterity, for, future generations, my kids, my grandkids, or whoever may want to know a little bit about MCM. Well, here's your chance. Well, one of many, I suppose. So here we go. The question number 31. So I'm just going to, if I can break it down as to what my choice is. Sometimes it's funny that when I tried to break it down last time, I ended up switching my choice once I heard myself talk it out. It's really weird, but I mean, this is for entertainment purposes, but also this podcast is also therapy for me as myself, listening to myself, talk to myself. Even though I'm really talking to you, I'm talking to myself. Obviously, I have the headphones on like any other podcaster, so I can hear myself. And here we go. Okay. Vacation or staycation? Now, one time I would have probably said staycation, but the way I feel right now, I really think I need a vacation. Generally, I'm happy where I live. Generally, I can take a vacation by popping a DVD or Blu-ray into my Blu-ray player, and yes, I still use one sometimes. I like to have control over my stuff. But anyhow, that's a whole different, I guess you'll hear that in a second. Again, because I see what the next question is going to be. And remember, I do not prepare myself for these questions, so they may catch me totally off guard. But the vacation, I think I need a different, at this point where I am in my life right now, I need a different place to be for a little bit. Not sure that I can really do it right now, of course, with obligations like work and sick family members and stuff. I wouldn't probably feel right halfway across the continent, the country, the world, knowing that I have an ailing mom and sister here and other things to take care of. Not to mention my young son. So, I mean, nothing's wrong with taking a week off, right, from anything, but just it's not my style. Like, I know many people do it all the time, but I'm kind of the dude who would just rather take a vacation or sleep when I'm dead. You know what I mean? Probably not healthy. Probably why I called my podcast also therapy for myself, because I very rarely take time away from all of the stressful situations in my life. 1 second. Time I get on this thing, for some reason my battery is dying. Oh yeah, I did work all day without plugging it in. Well, at least it made the whole day. Okay, next question, 32. Netflix or Hulu? Well, because I've never had Hulu, I can't really pick it. So I'll just stay Netflix. Although it is really difficult these days finding something on Netflix. I think they had to slow down their procurement of movies because they seem to be hanging around a lot longer than they used to, and there's not a lot of variety. But I'll stay with Netflix, although my first choice, as I was saying earlier, is my discs. I remember when the power went out here in, I can tell you exactly when. No, I can't tell you exactly when. I think it was like July 1st or 2nd or something like that. Anyhow, the power went out here, and everybody who is on regular cable and all that stuff, not power, sorry, cable went out in Toronto or in Ontario, maybe even Canada, I think it was. And I still had discs. So when everybody else was looking for internet connections and Wi-Fi and hoping you had the right provider for your phone or whatever it is to tether it to your laptop, I was watching movies on my DVD player, on my Blu-ray. 2 of them. I just got one for backup, you know what I mean? Could never always play every disc on every machine. Okay, next question. Rich and famous or rich and unknown? Definitely rich and unknown. When I look at famous people, athletes, entertainers, actors, businessmen who everybody knows something about, I think that it becomes too intrusive into your life to have that amazing rich life. Like, I don't even know. The amount of rich people that have ended their lives who are famous are countless. But those who are unknown, I'm sure there are those people as well, but it seems like it goes down so much worse when you're in the public eye. So, I mean, I'm looking at the negative side of being rich, but I'd rather be able to do whatever I want and nobody know who I am. I would like to be, I mean, what wouldn't it be cool to be like a billionaire, but you drive like a Honda Civic that is like 20 years old? And then you just go around like Robin Hood doing random acts of kindness to random people who need it because you can afford to help out with finances. That would be a dream life for me. Passenger or driver? Well, it depends. Like, where am I? If I'm in Jamaica, I'd rather somebody else drive. Anywhere where it's been noticeably difficult to drive a car, I would rather be the passenger. But anywhere that is made for drivers and the open road, then I'd like to drive. I like to control the car, especially if it's a nice car. Okay, art museum or history museum? History museum would probably creep me out because it'd just be full of a bunch of dead people. And not to say that the art wouldn't be art of mostly dead people, probably. But I go for the art because some art is really, really beautiful. Not to say that history isn't, but many times it isn't. So yeah, I go art. Car or bike? Again, where am I? But generally I like to go fast, so I would say car. Hopefully a nice car. Or at least a fast car. Train. This is 38. Train or airplane. Okay. I used to drive. I used to ride in the regular train, the municipalities train, the metropolitan train, the city of Toronto train. I guess I should have just said in the first place. And it was horrible most of the time, unless something wacky was going on, like a good laugh. But the funny thing is my father used to work for CN Rail in Canada, or Via Rail in Canada. And we had, as a family, free train rides anywhere we wanted to go for as long as we were under the age of 21 or 25, I think, in college or university. And my parents had it for the duration of their life. And I can honestly say that the one time we took a train to Kitchener, it was horrible. And it's probably not even that far from Toronto by train. So definitely an airplane. Not saying that I haven't been squeezed in a seat in an airplane for far too long with back pains, which I have, but I'd rather be flying. Owe money or owe a favor? Well, I'm the kind of person who will help you move, hold the bags for you, open the door for you, wash up the dishes for you, do your laundry for you, cut your grass for you, help you figure out what to do for your assignment, or help you with your assignment, or help. So me looking at it as far as owing a favor, I guess it depends. But I'd rather owe somebody a favor than owe them money. Money just feels like slavery. I think the Bible talks about something like that, about being, once you owe somebody, you become their slave pretty much in most cases. And I think there's another part in scriptures where it actually says, owe no man nothing but love. And I think we owe everybody love no matter what. So I don't want to owe love and money. I'd rather just owe you love and favor. Okay, coffee or tea? Well, if I'm sick, tea. And that would be peppermint tea, like most Jamaicans probably. Unless you're crazy Jamaican, then you probably want Cersei tea. But I go for the peppermint. But on a regular, everyday basis, if I have cream, coffee creams, I've become partial to drinking coffee without sugar, which is crazy for me. Although the coffee creams have a little sweetness to it, but nothing that I sugaraholic that I've had in all my my days can taste. So I'm definitely a coffee man these days, as long as it doesn't upset my stomach, which it hasn't been, so that's cool. Let's see. Be embarrassed or be afraid? Well, the weird thing about that is if I'm embarrassed, I'm usually afraid of the scrutiny that's going on in people's minds. So for me, embarrassment causes fear, which may be a weird thing for most people, but that's where I'm at with it. So I would say, I'm literally thinking of being embarrassed by something that would be really, really horrible. Like you get caught at the light at a pick. You're picking your nose and somebody looks over at you. And that would be embarrassing. But I guess you could laugh it off and drive away. Unless of course they know who you are, or I was thinking of something, but I can't say it. Yeah, who wants fear? I'll take the embarrassment, because sometimes there's levels of embarrassment, just like levels of fear, but nobody wants fear. Fear doesn't belong in your life. It totally changes you as a person for the amount of time that you're fearful. And it doesn't let you act like you would normally act, or behave like you'd normally behave. To me, anyways. Some people, it exhilarates them, though, but not me. Well, I guess I can't really say it doesn't, but I mean, when I think about it, when I was younger, I had fights, and I was, no, not every time. I was thinking that I'd be fearful of fighting, but sometimes I wasn't fearful in fighting. And I think the times that I did have a healthy level of fear probably kept me safe, because I never got beat up or beat down. A few ties, I guess. Okay, city or countryside? Now, at my age, and the the speed in which I'm moving around the city, I would say countryside. I think I need to be off to the side somewhere. I don't need to be in the heart of anybody's city, unless I'm just visiting. But I would take countryside. City to visit, country to live. Smartphone or tablet? Well, I used to like the iPad. I used to think it was cool. It's like a bigger version of a smartphone. And I think you can make some calls on them, some of them. But I'll take the phone. It's just easier to move around. And less likely to get broken because it's a little bit smaller. Or a lot of bit smaller. A lot of bit. Wine or beer? Well, beer is a phenomenon that I will never understand. I can tell you that when I was a little kid, being stupid, I guess, but I mean, nobody told me that it would fizz up, but I said, man, this stuff is bitter. Maybe if I add some sugar, I could understand somebody drinks beer. So I tried to add sugar to a beer. If you know what happens, don't tell anybody. But anyhow, wine. And wine is bitter for me too, so I'm not a wine drinker either. So I would just maybe sip some, maybe for stomach's sake. Although I'm sure the wine that people drink nowadays is different from when the wine in the Bible days, because the Bible says that. But it also says stay away from it, strong drink, because it can make you drunk, and then you'll embarrass yourself. So wine is a mocker. So I'd probably say none. But if I had to drink one, I would drink a little bit of wine. 45. Can see how fast this is flowing? I think I can go past 61 or 62. Okay, here we go. Camping or glamping? Now, what is glamping? I would assume glamping is probably like camping in a cottage or something like that. And like it'd be more glamorous, I would assume. I could be wrong. I could be right, but I'm probably right. I'm probably wrong. Anyhow, I'll take real camping without real beers. Because after watching that movie Backwoods, or Blackwoods, or whatever it was called, with the black bears up there making a menace of itself, or being a menace, I will take camping, I guess. Although now, I'm telling you, after that movie, and what was it, The Revenant, or whatever that movie was with Leonardo DiCaprio, with that bear just ran down on him and beat the living stuffings out of him and ripped him from limb to limb. I don't even know if I could do camping. So maybe I'll take glamping now. Now that I'm smarter to know that I have no business just hanging out in the woods in the dark with a bunch of Cub Scouts and leaders. That's the last time I went real camping. I need to do camping in the rain. I got a badge for that as a Cub Scout. Okay. Cooking or being cooked for? Both. But because I've cooked so much in my life now for so many different people, I would like someone just to cook for me regularly and from scratch. No box cakes or boxed rice or boxed anything. Just you can deal with the rice cooker. You got a rice cooker, you can do a little funny business with that. And if you got a burner that you can like make up some serious fried rice or something like that or whatever, I would like it. But I would also like to give it a shot too. So I would say I'd rather be cooked for at this point in my life. Play or stand-up show? I would definitely go for the stand-up show. If it's a good comedian. I've never actually seen a actually really good comedian show. I've been to one Yuck Yucks club one time, and it was okay, but nothing memorable really about it. Roommate or live alone? Well, if it's just a roommate or roommates, well, at my age, I'd rather live alone. I'd rather have the house set the way I want it to be set and come in and go out as I please. But if that roommate is a wife, my wife, then I'll take that. But sometimes you get some serious sleep while alone. I could say that, but sometimes you don't for some reason. So if it's just a roommate, then I'll say I'll live alone. Attend a party or host a party? Oh, attend. Because when you attend, you can just kind of creep off to the side somewhere and talk to some random person that you don't know and will never talk to again, probably. But when you're the host, you have to be on. You have to know if we have any ice. Is there enough chicken? Is there enough steak for everyone? Is there enough drinks? Is the electricity power outage gonna ever come back? Like there's too much stress. And not to mention, I don't like to be the life of the party or the main attraction of the party. I like to just be, oh, there's that guy, MCM over there, and he could tell you about something, and somebody asks you, what do you do? Which I hate that question, but it's better than being on all night. That's just sore feet and headaches and dishes to wash or whatever at the end of it. If it's at your own house, I guess. Let's see. Lose sleep or skip a meal? I lose sleep all the time and I skip a meal all the time. So it doesn't really make a difference. Either. That's why I'm choosing either, because I every day I'll go without breakfast and lunch and hit dinner hard. And then I'll eat second dinner hard too. And then lose sleep. Like last night, I woke up at 3 something. And then I didn't go back to sleep again until about 5:40. Which was, by that time, it was pretty much useless. So, yeah. Hang out with little kids or old folk? Depends on how old. When I was younger, I would say old folk. Because they always had some stuff they could tell you about something. And they're old. I mean, first of all, the old folk that I like to hang out with was my old dad. Because he was old. He was an old bean, as I call old people. And the stuff that when he wanted to get down to telling you some stories, nothing was more interesting than listening to my dad tell his stories. And he wouldn't do it often. He wouldn't delve into his past too much. But when he did, it was always interesting. And little kids, they're cool to be around, but they're a liability, man. Fall down the stairs or hit their head on the corner of the coffee table or some craziness and freak you out. I'm just thinking about it at home, I guess. But yeah, I'll take old folks, I guess. Sweating or shivering? Ugh. I'm thinking of like 33-degree weather with no AC. And then shivering. Think about a cold day without a jacket and jump into a cold car with leather seats. Have to wait for like 15 minutes for it to warm up. I will take shivering. Oh, beads of sweat on my forehead. Nah, I'll take the shiver. Ambitious or comfort? Ambition, sorry. I mean, is comfort called lazy? I believe you should always have some ambition. Comfort, well, but then who doesn't want to be at rest and at peace? I'll take comfort. I'm not going to explain that. Sneaker or dress shoes? Well, considering I'm wearing sneakers right now, I do own dress shoes, but I couldn't see myself sitting down doing a podcast in dress shoes for some reason. It's weird. Well, it's not my style, but I do like dress shoes though. So, I mean, if I got a suit on, then yeah. But I'll take sneakers. A nice pair of sneakers. Let's see. Fiction or non-fiction? Fiction. Wait. What the heck? I literally forgot what fiction is. Wait, non-fiction. Dang it. Hey Siri, what's fiction?
Fiction is any creative work, chiefly any narrative work, portraying individuals, events, or places in ways that are imaginary or inconsistent.
Okay, there you go. Shut up. All right, so non-fiction. Sorry, but I think about, I love Bible stories, and I consider those non-fiction. I know many of you probably don't, but I do. I do like biography. When I can find a good biography, or what's that, Unsung, the song about musicians and groups that didn't make it for whatever reason that were really good and all that stuff. So yeah, I'll take nonfiction. I love movies about real, when it says based on a real story. Those are hardly ever bad. I guess because the life was good enough to make a movie in the first place in most cases. But anyway, I digress. I'm sure there's some made-for-TV movie about some real-life situation that sucked. Like, I didn't like Kramer versus Kramer, or the movie about Adam, who just disappeared one day and, came up missing and stuff. But it was interesting, both of them at certain parts. Okay, let's see. Cash or credit? Definitely cash. Because credit, you're going to have to pay for it later. So, I mean, if you buy it now on credit, later you're just paying money. And it's like, what am I paying for? I already got this thing. I'd rather pay cash. Now, I know I don't owe anybody, as I was talking about earlier. Owing money. I don't want to owe money. I'd rather just pay cash. Take your money and leave me alone. 57. Espresso or drip coffee? Well, because I don't drink either, really, I would just take the drip. Because apparently espresso is supposed to be really strong. Although maybe drip is too. I'll just take drip. No, I'll take the espresso. I just have to put some cream in that joint. All right. Hot coffee or iced coffee? Obviously hot. Unless, of course, no. Yeah, ice. Oh, if it's hot outside, then I want ice. I'll take hot coffee, I guess. Coffee's supposed to be hot, man. People probably just discovered iced coffee one day when somebody put their hot coffee in the fridge and forgot about it. And then they came back and it was cold. And they're like, oh, this is good. Let's drop some ice in that bad boy. 59. Pattern or plain? I'll say plain, because today I wore a pair of camouflage or camo pants, and it's cool. But when I look at the rest of my clothing, nothing has a pattern. They may have a stitching of a name brand on it, but I'm definitely plain John, if anything. Reality shows or documentaries? I will take documentaries, because even if they lie, at least they make it feel like it's real. When reality shows, we know there's certain scripts and certain things people have to go along with, or narratives that they have to go around along with to make it really, really interesting. Whereas a documentary can be straight truth. Although I'm sure they lie in those as well. Usually have somebody complaining about a documentary. Red wine or white wine? I don't know the difference. I would assume red would be the more natural one. But I mean, maybe it's white grapes. I'll just take red wine because it sounds like it's the normal one. What I know about a Chardonnay or Cabernet. What is it? A Cabernet? I don't know nothing about them things. Cabernet. Salad or sandwich? Depends if that salad is a Greek salad. There's lots of chicken in there. Maybe some bacon bits, some croutons. It depends. But I mean, there's so many better sandwiches. So maybe I'll take a sandwich. A sandwich. Although right now I'm thinking of a salad, but. All right, let's see where we are. Just nice and easy. Again, these podcasts are for posterity, if anything. So they may not be the most interesting. So, I mean, if you're washing dishes right now and listening to me, maybe, or if you are cutting the grass, if you can hear me, or maybe you're working on your car or just doing something lame that isn't as lame while you're listening to me, then that's what this podcast is for, besides just for me answering questions. And you could think about these questions as well. You could pause and answer the questions and then see what I say after if I give enough time, which I do. I mean, you just have to pause it, right? Could be kind of cool. Could be a cool date, right? You could take your wife or your husband out and I'll give my answers after you pause and give your own answers and see my thoughts on it, maybe. I mean, I try to be as honest as possible. I mean, I got nothing to hide, really. At this point, I got nothing to hide and nothing to lose. All my bad parts are out in these streets. Okay. I mean, everybody knows something bad about somebody, right? I think there's enough people in my life that if I kicked off tomorrow, they could probably huddle up and tell all the bad stories. So, I mean, it is what it is, really. Go ahead. It's your bad self. All right. Let's go. I'm going to hit some of these ones too. So I'm on 63 now. Yeah. Call first thing in the morning or call in the middle of the night. Morning. Maybe we can handle something. In the middle of the night, that's just torture in most cases. Especially if I'm sleeping, man. Which I generally am. But I mean, if somebody calls me in the middle of the night and I can help them and there's something that I can actually do to help the situation, I feel so much better in myself. It's more exhilarating anyways. Okay. Board games or video games? Monopoly is always nice to start. So is Risk. If you know those, obviously you know Monopoly. You may not know Risk, I don't know. But video games, there's just so much more of them. And you can play them for a lot longer and they very rarely get boring. If they do, you just pop in another one. Although I don't play either really anymore. I stopped playing video games. And that's a good thing because I'm an old bean. And some people just keep going and going. But I realized, like TikTok, video games are absolute waste of our most valuable and fleeting commodity, and that is time. So I refuse to play video games. I refuse to use TikTok. Message boards, stuff that I can read something and understand something, or maybe even put in my 2 cents, is a little bit better, but still. Definitely not a video game. Photos or video? Video. Because you always want to know, as long as it's not these short clips that people are like dying over. The sentence that they explain the video with is usually longer than the video. So yes, long format video, 100% more than photo. Pictures say 1,000 words, but why not say 1,000 words in a video? Then there'll be nothing up to discussion or interpretation. Of course there will be, but still, you know what I mean. Social media, message or text message. Text message. At least another person's talking to me. But maybe I guess both. But no, text. I just feel when you're on those social media sites, somebody's just tabulating your answer somewhere and you're going to use it against you at some point. Sooner than later. 67. Take a friend on your family vacation or join a friend on their family vacation. I'd rather join because then I'm not responsible for, they're responsible for me. I don't want you to come with my family and flip and get stung by a bee or stung by a jellyfish or something while we went out snorkeling or something, and I got to explain to your family why we had to get your leg amputated. So I'd rather join somebody else's family. I can lay in the cut and not worry about being on or taking care of someone. Plus, you never know how your people are when you bring them out with you, whereas you know how you are when they bring you out. Okay, as long as you trust them though, because some people you go with their family, you could be going anywhere. Okay, group hangout or one-on-one. Again, I'm good one-on-one, I would say. But with the group hangout, you can slide over to the side and observe what's going on with the rest of the group and have some good jokes where you don't have to be totally on, hopefully. But probably one-on-one. I could be me in both situations, as long as I'm not the main person of the group. French fries or onion rings? I'll say fries. Onion rings are an unnecessary delicacy and not a very good delicacy. Fries are necessary. That's right. I said it. Share food or don't share food? I'd rather share. Although hopefully there's enough that I can give you your portion and take my portion. I got plans for them mashed potatoes, man. You can't just be digging into the mashed potatoes. You know what I mean? Okay. Give a ride or hitch a ride? Hitch a ride. Hitch a ride is I've had to do it back in the day when my dad didn't drive in this country for whatever reason. He had a license and he drove in England, which is harder, in Jamaica, which is harder. But for some reason, he came to Canada, got a license, because every man needs needs a license in their wallet, something to put in their wallet. Kind of like, what's it called? Blindside. He says, I just want something to put in my wallet, with my name on it or whatever it was. But I'd rather, because I've been hitching a ride. Hitch a ride, you just feel like a low life. Like, you might as well just go on the bus. At least if you're back in the day taking a taxi, you'd be like, my man, you whistle or raise your hand and get the taxi. You could be a baller taking a taxi. Whereas if you're hitching a ride, then you're just a schlub. They're hoping that you got enough money to help out with gas. Money. PayPal or Venmo? Well, I have never heard of Venmo, so I'll go PayPal. Although I heard they had some problems lately. Instagram or Twitter? Definitely Twitter. Instagram is not unlike TikTok. It's just videos just coming at you. And you just gotta know when to say stop. Although Twitter can give you information overload, but at least you have some control because you're reading and looking. Shopping online or shopping in the store? I think shopping in the store. If you got the money, right? I'd rather carry some bags out and say, oh yeah, about to put these shoes on. Yeah, I'd rather shop. Although there is a broader selection online. Problem with online is you could end up getting some nonsense. Whereas I'm thinking about shoes. But as opposed to being in the store, you try them on, you touch them, feel them, you know what's up with it. You know the quality. Sometimes everything is like online is like glittering like gold because they've been marketed that way, but when you get them, they may not be gold at all. We'll go up to 80, around 75. Tattoo or piercing? Well, I've had both my ears pierced previously, and I've had a tattoo as well. Never get one on your hand, people. I got my wife's name put on my left ring finger, and you could still kind of read it, sort of, if it's wet. But that one hurt, and I think it's because I don't have a lot of fat on my bones on my finger on the outside for some reason. Tattoo was a joke. I videotaped myself getting a tattoo on my neck, again, of my wife's name. So I'll take the tattoo. Just stay away from bones, that's all, man. I mean, you could be a sadomasochist if you want. Just have somebody carving up your bones on wherever your body part is, but not me. Let's see. So yeah, tattoo, not piercing. I probably think my ears are probably closed up now. I have more earring in my ear for a long time. It was cool back in the day, sort of. Store-bought or homemade? I can think of a store-bought apple pie or homemade apple pie or homemade lasagna, store-bought. I'll take homemade. The person knows what they're doing. Can't beat it. And plus, they don't have to put so much preservatives and weird stuff in it to make it work. Plans or surprise? I'd rather a good surprise. Although I've realized from people trying to surprise me when they take me places. I mean, one time somebody took me somewhere and they blindfolded me all the way to the place. And it was okay. I sat in the front of the car with blindfold on the whole way. And I mean, it was kind of cool. It was my ex. But, she did try. My wife. If it's a good surprise. Pizza or Chinese food? Definitely, because I've had a lot of pizza lately. I'll say Chinese food. There's way more variations and combinations. 79. Books or movies? 100% movies, considering the fact that I probably own over 1,000 to 2,000 or whatever it is I have down there. I'll go movies. Movies all day. But I'm thinking that the way that a book intertwines with your mind as you read it, your imagination, your everything, it's just harder. It's just more work. So if you like to work and you want your brain to work and you want to, use your cognitive skills, and I would say book, but otherwise I do like movies more. That's just being honest. But I wish I liked books more. I would aspire to like books more. Okay, 80. Roller coaster or water slide? Water slide. Roller coaster just sounds and feel like a death trap. And eventually it's going to break, and I just feel like it's going to be me on it that day. So I'll go water slide. Yeah. Okay. So anyhow, y'all, that was pretty painless. I went from 31 to 80, and that was pretty good, I hope. Anyhow, I will see you next time. This is MCM, and you're listening to You're Probably Right. Tell your friends. Take care.
Black History Month, you find
ridiculous.
Why?
You're going to relegate my history to a month?
Oh, come on.
What do you do with yours? Which month is White History Month? Well, come on, tell me.
Well, I'm Jewish.
Okay, which month is Jewish History Month?
There isn't one.
Oh, why not?
Yeah.
Do you want one?
No.
I don't either. I don't want a Black History Month. Black history is American history.
How are we going to get rid of racism until...
Stop talking about it. I'm going to stop calling you a white man.
Yeah.
And I'm going to ask you to stop calling me a black man. I know you as Mike Wallace. You know me as Morgan Freeman.
Hey, come check out You're Probably Right podcast. Society is getting more unpredictable every day, but at the same time, predictable in its unpredictability. Say that 4 times real fast. Come with me as I attempt to find clarity in all the fog while staying way outside the box and kicking the box way down the road with my size 12 ducks. I use the Bible, experience, education, fortune, misfortune, life's lessons, life's mistakes to sort through all the mess. I talk about news, God, God, self-help, sports, sickness, health, music, parenting, love, humbleness, hurt, pain, joy, and all the things that might make you say, I never thought of it that way. Hopefully, anyway. Also, I take a stab at answering tough and not so tough questions, and all the while understand that Listen, sometimes you end up in the hot seat and there's no thermostat. Well, that's how it is here. And because there's no topic, well, very few topics off the table, Torontonians will understand that Doug Ford reference there. Hopefully the podcast will be helpful and uplifting. And hey, maybe you'll find your own private Idaho here somewhere. Hope to see you soon.